guys, welcome back to our episode, Do What You Love, Love What You Do. Real excited to have one of my best friends on the show today. I was able to catch up with him. This guy's a busy man, and just a blessing to have him today. And Q, say what's up to our viewers, listeners. I'm just trying to step my game up and be, like you just said, versatile. You told me earlier, be versatile with everything. So say what's up to our listeners.
What's going on, Dreamchasers?
What's going on, baby? Hey, Q, so, man, real quick, man, just tell us your background. I know, but let our listeners kind of know what you do and how you are basically doing what you love and love what you do. And give us kind of your journey of how you got there and how it started.
All right, what's going on, Dreamchasers? Like Coach said, my name is Quentin Myers. We've been knowing each other since we was like little toddlers back in the nursery, kicking and screaming and fighting. Little did we know we'd be 30 years down the road, kicking it, holding each other accountable, and making big moves. Grew up in the DFW area. Like Coach, I stayed involved as a kid, always involved in extracurricular activities, whether it was with the church or school or sports. Just can always stay busy. So I kind of started that thing at an early age. One of the benefits that came along with being busy is that I was constantly surrounded by people who were doing well for themselves, positive influence. You know, coaches obviously were always reinforcing their values and supporting me and trying to make me a better person or player or whatever. Like I said, grew up in the DFW area. One of the biggest, turning points in my childhood was be like the summer of 2001. Haven't really told many people this, but that summer I was running summer track, and I was also going to an aviation camp. So I got connected. A part of, surrounding yourself with positive people was one of my dad's really good friends was an air traffic controller. So I saw the benefits of having a successful career, and I got intrigued as to what he was doing. And so I got hooked up with an aviation camp, and found out that, being an air traffic controller would be pretty cool. But at the same time, that camp showed me a bunch of different jobs in aviation. And I realized that, hey, I'm adventurous. I like to travel. I like to get around, might be able to do the pilot thing. So that was when I made my decision to become or start working towards becoming a professional pilot one day. And another turning point with that summer would be my track coach. He stopped me one day at practice and asked me, like, what kind of grades you making? And I was making B's, some A's. He was like, well, why not make all A's? And honestly, Coach, I had no real reason why I couldn't make all A's.
Right.
And so, hey, I want to be a pilot, but I'm giving this lackluster effort towards, becoming so. So, I mean, that was a major turning point. At that point, I started having a desire to actually make all A's, and had good teachers teachers and as well as coaches continue to push me along the way. Ended up at Oklahoma State, got a bachelor's degree in aviation sciences, and went on to flight instruct after that, and then ultimately became an international pilot for the airlines. And as well as, like I said, I had coaches. I got into the powerlifting thing that summer also, and I've had the opportunity to fly around the world as well as compete around the world. So that's kind of a little bit about my journey. I can go on and on. It's a lot of details, but that's the rough draft of it, man.
Hey, man, awesome, man. I'm just blessed, man, that I was able to tag along, man, and be there with you.
Sure.
Sure. And listen to some of the crazy stories, man, that you tell me, and then just follow you, man. When you first started, it wasn't Instagram and all the social media. It wasn't popping like that, so we would actually have to get on the phone and talk. But definitely, man, just proud of what you're accomplishing, man. And you talked about something real important, and a lot of us can reflect back on those high school days. I know I can. And you talked about your track coach, just asking you that question: why you not getting all A's? You know, and just you telling me that, I think about just why you not working your hardest? Why aren't you being the best father? Why aren't you being the best husband? And there's really no excuse of why you're not giving the best effort of the life that we're given and the opportunity we're given. And so talk about that discipline and that focus piece. How has that played a role in you being a nationally ranked athlete, and you having to stay on top of your game in the aviation, being that you represent, I think maybe less than 2% of being a black international pilot.
Right.
How does discipline and focus play a role in your life at this point?
Discipline and focus, it all boils down to your drive. I don't claim to be the most naturally gifted individual. I don't claim to be the smartest individual. But one thing I do have is a great work ethic. And that has paid off tremendously in my path, both as a powerlifter as well as a professional pilot. And a lot of times it comes down to you having to isolate yourself, think about what it is that you want, and isolate yourself, and kind of go into hibernation. That's
Yeah,
why
yeah,
I go into hibernation mode to make sure I'm achieving what it is, or working hard to achieve what it is I want, and not just being a bystander or a spectator or watching other people doing what they want to do. So I mean, spending that time with yourself, grinding it out really hard, putting in that work. When a lot of people are out enjoying fun things, you just might have to be back at home, or wherever your quiet place is, putting in the grind, putting in the time.
yeah, man. The first word to come to my mind is sacrifice, bro. And I
Absolutely.
think, in order for us to achieve the level of success that we want to, we're going to have to sacrifice a temporary loss of time with, like you said, time with friends and family, but it's temporary, in order to us to really see the full benefits of that. And going to that isolation piece, eliminating distractions. What are some strategies you can share with our listeners? Do you cut off your cell phone, or do you just find a like a room, or how does that look for you?
It's like you said, it's basically just about cutting things out, eliminating distractions. Like obviously today, in today's society, cell phone is probably the number one distraction. And just the other day, I was watching, doing some studying on trying to get back into options trading, and I was going
Okay, okay.
watching some modules, and I realized my phone was on right there by it. And naturally, somebody texts you, you want to respond. All the while this video is going on, valuable information is just running past me while I'm just being distracted by this phone. It's like, you know what? If I was in college in class or something, I wouldn't be able to sit here with my phone on or whatever, being able to respond to a text. So you have to have that discipline to set yourself in whatever environment it needs to be, or whatever
Mhm.
setting you need to be completely focused. And whether it means turning off a cell phone, finding a quiet place, or whatever it is, you have to find what works for you.
Yeah, man. And yeah, as we talk about that, I know for me, um, you know, with the things that we're doing with Dreamchaser Academy, my phone's always buzzing with emails. I always got something on my mind. I'm always like, dang, man, I got to email somebody. But for me, having a wife and my son, that's one of my challenges, and I'm definitely gonna have to do better with that. Q, just putting up the phone, leaving it upstairs. For me, For me, it's out of sight, out of mind. So
Right.
I definitely just need to leave it somewhere, or leave it in the truck or something like that. That way, I won't even feel like going to look at it. I,
Can't
but
give yourself that option or that temptation, man. You gotta, like, say, hibernate.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, a lot of people, when you start studying some of the habits of highly successful people, they
Hmm.
basically shut themselves off from the rest of the world in order to grind it out, like you just mentioned. Um, being a national athlete, what are some of the things that we talked about, focus and discipline, but what are some of the things that kind of correlate with each other with you being I I believe a minority in both the career wise and professionally wise. I guess athlete wise. What correlation? What have you learned, and what have you taken from being a nationally ranked athlete to your pilot, and to being an international pilot? And what have you taken from being an international pilot to being a nationally ranked athlete?
I think it kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier, Coach. It boils down to hard work and dedication, and I think you can use those skills in either field, whether it's you're trying to attain a professional goal, a social goal, whether you're trying to be, a better father, better husband, what have you, whatever your walk or your journey is, and setting clear goals or whatever you want to achieve, whether, like I said, professionally or socially, and putting in that work, the effort and dedication, hibernating, and whatever it takes to get to reaching that goal. Man, they go hand in hand. You can't really
You
separate one
can't
from
really
the other.
separate. Yeah,
If you're a
I
hard
like
worker, you're a hard worker. If you slack off, you're gonna do so in more than one area of your life. I guarantee you. I guarantee
yeah,
you.
yeah, man. And so, being that I coach right now. I'm coaching middle school girls, and I have high school boys coming up, and I'm preaching to them that the things you do off the court, it plays a role what you do on the court. So,
Absolutely.
you're forgetting your supplies, you forgetting you're not prepared for class. You definitely not gonna be prepared for the games and prepared for practice. And I say it all the time, with my athletes, oh, I forgot my shoes. Oh, I forgot. And all this on game day, but it goes
Hmm.
back in preparing. It starts when you wake up in the morning, preparing yourself for that school day. So I definitely preach that, and those are some of the habits that I think can carry on and over um, are on like during business hours and outside of business hours as we continue to build our dreams. I think we take those, like you said, take those skills and apply them to both areas of our life. I want to jump into something real quick, Q. Let's talk about this wealth thing and building wealth and doing this outside of what we do. You talked about it earlier. You was uh, reviewing some modules on stock options, and
Right.
you we trade stocks and trade ideas and talk about different things, ideas like that. And it's kind of people kind of get sensitive about that because they think some people think like you're being greedy, like you got a good career, you,
Hmm.
you got a family, why are you trying to do all this extra stuff? And for me, I'm gonna be honest, I call it I'm chasing freedom. Like I want to be in a position where first of all I want to be a first generational millionaire in my
Hmm.
family. We
That's a
don't
good
have
goal.
any in my family. Definitely want to do that.
That's a
But
good goal.
it's the freedom cue that we're chasing, man. To be able to like just do whatever you want to, whenever you want to, and enjoy it with whoever you want to. So talk about that piece and why are you choosing to, um, learn different skills as far as building wealth.
One of the things that I do, like the segment is doing what you love what you do. One of the things that I love about my job is, and some of y'all might think I'm a bum for when I tell you this, but I really only work about half the month. With about 15, 16 days at the most, I'm having to go fly an airplane. And I say have to, I mean, I get to go fly an airplane. And so what that affords me is a lot of time on my days off to maximize my drive, my potential in other avenues. And right now, one of the things I'm really trying to focus on is maximizing my financial potential. Fortunately enough, being a pilot, I get paid a pretty decent salary to do what I love. And I don't want to just sit at home 15, 16 days and not do anything with that money. Um, so I'm looking at areas of which I can invest, and continue to just build my wealth, my portfolio, setting myself up
Right.
better, and trying to build that foundation when I do have a family and have children, so to be able to provide for everybody, to continue on a legacy with the goals and things my parents instilled in me as a kid, man. So, and it's not just so much about fattening my pockets.
Right,
Uh,
right.
One of the things that has been so fulfilling with me being in the position that I am is I've been able to give back uh, a lot of my time and also monetary gifts to different organizations. And I mean, that's one of the most gratifying things, being able to, help people out, because I know I didn't get here on my own. It took people sparking an idea, me seeing somebody's lifestyle, and then having coaches to say, hey, you can do, or coaches or parents and teachers say, hey, you can be in this kind of position as long as you work for it. And so, like, without them, I wouldn't be here. And being able to stack my income and build my wealth allows me to be a more of an influential person to many more people versus just, okay, I got my one form of income. Yeah, I can do something with it, but how much more can I can I give back? So
Yeah, I like that. I like that word, maximize. Maximize our time, maximize our potential, max out, max out everything that we do. And I want to talk about Q, me and you, we grew up in Texas. We grew up in Fort Worth, Texas, man, in Arlington, in that area, Mansfield.
Mansfield,
Yeah.
shout
So I
out to
mean,
Mansfield, Texas.
we grew up with it. Wasn't even Mansfield. Wasn't Mansfield? Mansfield was like just one school. so, so we kind of we grew up. We had both parents and everything, but we still felt that we always had to do more. And I think
Right.
our parents, both our families, they still in us like, look, you are a black male. You always gonna have to go the extra mile.
Right.
And we've still seen that today, Q. But for some reason, bro, I feel like almost that we're going backwards in some ways, and that the generation behind us, that my kids I'm teaching, like they have no idea. They have no idea. Even if they're growing up with two parents or whatever, one parent, it don't matter. Like even our friends, like we had an idea of what was going on in the world, and knowing that as a black male, that we were a couple of steps behind starting point, not because of potential, not because of our drive and our abilities, but just because of the color of our skin. And so, why is it like that? Why is there a lack of knowledge today in our youth? What's your thoughts on that?
I would say it just boils down to the home. Like you said, fortunately enough, we were both blessed with having both parents, mom and dad, at home. And society nowadays, man, I think that's becoming more and more uncommon for those kind of scenarios. Not to say that an individual can't be successful with a single parent household. One of my best friends is extremely successful individual who's come from that, has come from that kind of environment. But I just think as a society, we've kind of lost sight of what's morally right. And that's one of the values that's kind of getting slipped in the messages at home, whether it be from mom, dad, or from mom or from dad. It's just core values are just not being taught at home. A lot of society has been caught up in what's fashion or what's popular in social media, and it's taken up so much of our mind, or so much of our time and our daily activities, that we're forgetting what's really important to society. It's being a good person,
Right.
and having good values. And it's just, I think society is being pushed by social media, and being different than other people is not really the cool thing to do. And like I said, it's becoming more and more uncommon of getting those core values taught at home. And so
Yeah, man, we definitely I see it in my youth, man. There's no uniqueness. Everybody wants to do the same thing, it's just one fad after another, and it's a trend after another. Whatever's trending, everybody's doing it. Now, kudos to the people that start the trend. You can blow up real fast doing that. But definitely that's a challenge to our youth today, man. They just they just don't get it at a certain point, that especially our black youth, that there's basically a target on your back, and people are not really rooting for you in a sense. They are just kind of sitting back and waiting for you to react to what's going on. And so I think it's important for guys like me and you to set the example, be example. And that's why I'm big on social media, watching what I post, because I have students, players, former players, and I live the life that I talk about.
right.
It's not nothing. I'm not trying to put on the front for anybody, through social media. And if they follow me, you won't see me posting like crazy stuff on weekends and hanging out with colleagues and stuff. I got beers in my hand and all that crazy stuff. And then the next day, throw up a positive post. And so I definitely believe that people like me, you have to be conscious of that kind of stuff. And use social media as a platform to impact people, man. Be an example for even our friends, our peers. And I just want to give you a shout out, man, because I believe that you're doing that with your your motivational when you lift and when you work out. Those things are inspiring, to somebody like me who got this gut right here. I dream about that.
Make it a reality, my brother.
Yeah. So definitely keep that going, man. Keep that going, man. So as we wrap up the show, man, definitely want to end with something real fun. But hold on, before we end, man, what's up with our Cowboys, man?
Struck a chord, brother. Man, we got to invest in the secondary. It really, we got to have a healthy, strong, talented secondary. Offense is putting up tremendous numbers. There's no reason why our Cowboys should have to score 40-something points to win an NFL game. I mean, come on, defense. Got to put some pressure on their quarterback and got to be able to cover those receivers for a little bit longer, man. So secondary, I think, is what's key.
Yeah, man, and Jerry Jones ain't making it easy for me to root for him, man. But that's a whole nother podcast in itself. I don't want to get us started on that. But that's what's going on with that, man. I don't know. What's your thoughts? First of all, what was your initial thoughts on Kaepernick?
I totally respect the brother's initiative in using his platform to get a message that he feels passionate about, getting that message out. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we all do, whether we have a large platform or a small. We try to influence other people with our ideas and things we're passionate about. Unfortunately, sometimes those aren't the greatest ideas, but sometimes they are. So him utilizing his platform, I think I totally respect what he's doing in that sense, man. I mean, that's what this country is about, being able to, respectfully voice your views and, live in a way that other people can respect, using what you got.
Right, definitely, man. Just curious to see what the Cowboys are going to do, some of the Cowboy players and what they're going to do, what their response is after Jerry said what he said. He's going back and forth. One week he kneeling, other week, next week he you better stand up for the flag. So
I think that initial kneel prior to the anthem was more so of him standing up for himself to another individual.
Yeah,
yeah. So not so much. He wasn't on the same page as Kaepernick. I wouldn't say that. So.
Nah, look, it definitely wasn't. It definitely wasn't, and we know that. Hey, so look, Q, I'm going to give you a question, right? And you only can respond with a one-word answer. But it got to be like something off the top of your head.
All right.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
All right, we're going to start off easy. All right, sport.
Off the top of my head. Is it one-word answer?
Yeah, one-word answer, man. One-word answer, man.
Drive.
All right. Dessert.
Cheesecake.
All right. Vacation.
Travel.
All right. Mentor.
Influence.
Nice. All right. Book.
Knowledge.
Okay. Character.
Respectable.
All right. So cool, man. I appreciate it, man. You was all right. Okay. You did okay. Hey, Q, I know you read a lot, man. Leave us with a book to read that we need definitely read before the end of the year. And then tell us how we can find you on social media and stuff like that.
A good read that I just finished up with. Like I said, I was really trying to maximize my financial potential right now. I just finished reading Investing in Your 20s and 30s It's part of the Dummy series by Eric Tyson. Really, really good read. I'm actually going back and rereading my highlights and taking notes right now. So I plan on making some good moves, some strategic moves here in the near future when it comes to my finances. And what was your other question, brother?
How can we find you on social media?
Oh, okay. Instagram, Facebook. My Instagram is at Q Myers _Powerflight. Myers is Myers. And then Facebook is Quentin, Quentin, the Wingman Myers.
That's right, man. Hey, I forgot, man. I forgot to mention. My bad, man. I forgot to ask about how your last meet went, your last national meet. Are you gonna hang it up? Are you gonna retire? You you like one of those guys that say, "Oh man, I'm retired," then come back and everything like that. So how'd your last meet go?
The meet it went well. I set some personal bests. Pound for pound, I'm the strongest I've ever been in my life. Shout out to Jason and the strength guys for having me in top notch condition for my meet. It was bench press nationals. My goal was to go in and win first place so that I can earn a spot on the USA team to be able to represent the country once again. However, fell a little short of that. Ended up finishing second to a guy who's a tremendous athlete, amazingly strong bench presser. He upped his American record. So I finished second to that. And where I'm going from here, man, right now I'm just trying to stay fit, keep it all, intact in case I do get a call as an alternate for that USA spot. And who knows, man? I mean, I got other things that I really want to focus on in my life right now, but I'm competitive. And it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to walk away, of your career as an athlete. So I mean, we'll see. The future will tell its tale, man.
Yeah, especially if you was right there, man. Second place, I think second place kind of hurt, man. Like,
it's tough, man. I mean, in my eyes, second place, you're kind of the first loser. I mean,
yeah,
I didn't first, but it resonated when I first heard it.
Yeah, second place is rough, man. Like you, if you think about it, like when you watch the championship games, like second place team were always walking off the court.
Yeah, it's tough, brother.
It's rough.
So we'll see. I mean, needless to say, it was motivating. I mean, whether I continue on the sport or whether I walk away from it and venture off in other endeavors, it motivates you.
Cool, man. Well, hey, man, I appreciate you being on the show, man. I know you got to get some rest. You got to get back on the flight and fly some people safely to their next destination, man. Hey, thanks a lot, brother, and good luck to you in your future endeavors.
Hey, likewise, brother. I'm proud of you, man. Thanks for having me on the show. That's what